Hello, 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 everyone. Come on in to the webinar. I am so excited to have you here. I am in Ohio, and I want to welcome you. This is grant writing for Black organizations, whether you are a nonprofit or a small business. This is the place to be. And I want you to give wherever you're coming in from a shout out. Your city, your state, your country. Give it a shout out today. Let me know who is here with me. Come on in. We're going to start in a couple of minutes, but I wanted to welcome everyone. Come on in. Come on in. Just put it in the chat. Let me know where you're coming in from. Let me know. We have, let's see. I'm gonna be butchering some names today. Forgive me for butchering some names. We've got, is it Shakuka from Nigeria? I know I have a lot of friends with me today from the motherland, from the beautiful continent. Yes. Oh, I know. I'm sorry. I know I'm going to be butchering some names. You just have to forgive me today, please. Please, I'm going to be butchering some names today. I'm going to try though. Is it Mbiwi from Zambia? Celine from Burkina? Osha from the beautiful Fiji Islands. Tina is coming in from Columbia, Maryland, nursing sorority, 501(c)(3). Yes. And looks like she owns a small business too. Is it Jarvis from Kansas, Desmond from Nigeria? Hello. Uh-oh. Is it Ruiri from Nairobi, Kenya? Come on in, everybody. I'm going to try to get these names right. I'm going to try. I'm going to try. Come on in. We're going to wait a couple more minutes because we have a lot of potential people coming in. So we are going to give it a couple more minutes. Hello, Sherry from Texas. Texas is in the house. Has it warmed up? Oh my gosh, it's been so cold here. I'm in Ohio and we're having a heat wave at 31 degrees. A heat wave, let me tell you, it's been 0 degrees, -2, -4, and now we're having a little heat wave right now in Ohio. Hello, hello. Is it Loic from the Cameroon and Mabel from, is it Malawi? I think that's Malawi. Come on in, give that city and that state a shout out or your country. Let me know what country you're coming in from. We're going to be represented from all over the world today. So come on in. Oh, look at Malawi representing Bright. Bright is coming in from Malawi. Let me know where you are coming in from. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. And look at Ohio represented with Bobby. Yes, representing Ohio. And Alvin from Houston. Hello, Lauren. Hello, Lauren. And coming in from where? Southern California. Yes, we're going to talk about grants today. We're going to talk about grants for Black organizations. Yes, we're going to cover what you need to do if you have an organization here in the US, but also what you need to do if you have organizations and programs internationally as well. All right, all right. Hello, Patrick. Where are you coming in from? Oh, I'm getting ready to butcher another name. Is it Eswatini? Is that right? Eswatini? Probably Eswatini, I would think. Hello, Lubinga from Uganda. Hello, everybody. Come on in. Is it Enoch? Enoch from the Cameroon. All right, so we're going to get started because I really do have a lot of information to share with you today. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen. First, I'm going to change the view here. But we need to give a shout out to my assistant, Melissa, who is in Zimbabwe. So let's give some love to Melissa, who is helping me today, and she is in Zimbabwe. All right, so let me share my screen, and then we are going to get started because, again, I have a lot of information to share with you today. And a lot of this information you probably will not have heard before. All right, you probably will not have heard before. So, it's time to pay attention today. All right, so this is how do you not just write. How do you place yourself in a position to win grants? How do you place your organization in a position to win grants? Again, my name is Linda Peavy, and I am going to be your host today. And yes, they call me the Grants Queen, which we'll talk more about my background. But I want to welcome everybody. Just come on in, come on in, come on in. Give that city and that state a shout out. Come on in. Yes, you can invite others. Melissa, if you could drop the registration, you know what? I think I can do it really quickly here. I'm going to drop a bit.ly link. If you have it, Melissa, drop it in because this is a bit.ly link, which there we go. Thank you, Melissa. So if you want to invite people, yes, invite people. Hello, Robert from Sierra Leone in West Africa. Hello. So yes, absolutely. Come on in. Come. This is free. I'm giving free information today. All right. So, yes, they call me the Grants Queen. Why? Because this is year 18. This is year 18 of me being in this industry. I have won almost $20 million in grants for clients. So I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. All right. But about 3 years ago, I decided to teach. I was a grant writer, had won all this money for clients. And you know what the phrase is, right? It is one thing to fish for people. It's another to teach them how to fish. I want to teach you how to fish. All right. So 3 years ago, I started my LaPav Writing School to teach others how to win grants. I now serve over 3,000 students in that academy. I have trained over 30,000 individuals and organizations all across the world in grant writing. I also teach, yes, for larger organizations, Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses Program, the Urban League, National Association of Women Business Owners, and so many others. I'm a proud alumnus of the Goldman Sachs program as well. My academic education, the University of Akron, Akron, Ohio. That's where I have my undergrad and my graduate degrees. And yes, it is absolutely my mission and my passion to teach you how to fund your organization. And that's what we're going to do today. All right. Now, how did I get here? I wasn't always the grants queen. I was a publishing executive in Pennsylvania and I got hurt. So I was flying all over the world. I was traveling everywhere, had this great position, right? Traveling the world, and then the bottom fell out and I got hurt. And when I got hurt, I went from traveling the world, right, in this great position to putting everything I own in a storage unit in Cleveland, Ohio, and moving back literally to Cleveland and having to move in with my sister. I came home in a wheelchair. I never thought I would come back home in a wheelchair. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. So I was in Pennsylvania. Never thought I would come back home in a wheelchair, but I did. And it took me 2 years just to recuperate. Like I couldn't work for 2 years. I was seen by the Cleveland Clinic, renowned Cleveland Clinic, right? One of the best hospitals in the world. And it still took me 2 years to recuperate. And after those 2 years, I was able to work again, but I couldn't find a job. I was in Cleveland, Ohio. My experience was as a professional publisher in Pennsylvania. I couldn't find a job, people. That's when I started my company, LaPav Consulting. I didn't have dreams of becoming an entrepreneur. I needed to eat, I needed a roof over my head, and I needed to move out of my sister's apartment. And that's when I started LaPav Consulting. And it's been 18 years of me being a full-time entrepreneur. So when I tell you I started from ground zero, I started from nothing. I started with nothing. So I know how it is to start from nothing. That was me, right? And so even when I started LaPav Consulting, one of my first positions was to be the executive director of a nonprofit. So all of a sudden, I get in this position. I'm leading a nonprofit. People, I wasn't there 2 weeks before I was called into the board of directors office and told that I had to write a grant that would pay for my salary. They didn't tell me that when they were hiring me. just like many of you, I had never seen a grant before. I had no knowledge of grants. And now I'm being asked to write a grant that would pay for my own salary, right? You talk about baptism by fire. That was me. That picture, just asking for help. I didn't know what to do. I had never seen a grant before. And now I have to write one to pay for my salary. Like, are you kidding? But that's what happened. That's what happened. But you know what? People, I did it. I researched that grant. I wrote that grant. I won the grant that would pay for my salary. So when I tell all of you, you can do this even if you have no experience. You can do this. I learned and I wrote that grant and it paid for my salary. And then all of a sudden, even when I left the organization, grant writing became my most sought after service. So I went from winning $500 grants to a $500,000 grants. I went from winning like your local grants to national grants. The more grants I wrote, the more experience I got, the more money I won. And so I went from this help sign to getting my applications approved. So here I am now with a formula. I'm getting ready to save you a lot of time and headache, right? Because I did the hard work. I've been in this industry 18 years and I have developed a framework that works, that's going to save you time and effort and money. Like I did the grind so that you would have a much easier time getting grants. Because at this point, you got to ask yourself, like, where are you going to be in a few months? We got to stop wasting time, people. I want to see your name on the money truck. I want you all to say, put into this chat money truck. I want your name on the money truck because I want you to position yourself to not just be writing a bunch of grants, but to win grants. So you can stop asking family and friends for money. You can stop paying all of your own expenses. You can stop self-funding your organization. You can stop with this one person operation that is draining you. Because guess what? You can use grant money to hire help, to get support, so that you can finally realize your dreams of operating a successful nonprofit or operating a small business, right? So that's what you're going to learn today. All right? Because I want to see your name on the money truck. Now, what are we going to talk about today? Why we're here. I'm going to go through the current grant landscape. We'll talk about some grant basics. We'll talk about what is critical for you getting grants now, and that's a grant strategy. We'll talk about how you're going to use AI to write grants faster and better. Then I have a bonus surprise. Then we're going to do a Q&A. The Q&A is important. Like, don't be shy, people. As I move through, drop your questions in either the Q&A box or the webinar chat. Either one or the other. Don't choose both, one or the other, because I'm going to go through both at the end and answer all of your questions. And I'm here to help you. This is what I want you to know. I'm here to help you. Therefore, I'm not charging for the replay. You're going to get the replay for free because I want you to use it. But you got to promise me something. You got to promise me you're going to share this information with other, especially Black organizations, right? Don't keep this to yourself. Share that replay so that other organizations can learn this information as well. And I call it a no fluff zone. No fluff zone. I'm going to give you information that you're going to be able to use and use right now. Now, but you have to ask yourself a question like, what is fear keeping you from? Have you allowed your fears to keep you from getting this money? Right? Because as Black organizations, we are so underfunded. We need money. Now, you can pay $5,000 to a grant writer and have them write a grant for you if you have it. Or you can learn to do this and place your organization in a position to win grants. Because guess what? Grant writing is different now. You're not writing a grant over months and months and months. It's days, right? And guess what? Grant applications are no longer 100, 200-page documents. No, a lot of them are 2 and 3 pages. So again, you can do this. And no, you don't have to be a professional grant writer. All right. You can do this. All right. But be sure you're sharing this information. All right. Now, where are we right now? We are caught in a sea of misinformation when it comes to grants. I want you to look at this picture. Is this you? Are you drowning in this misinformation? Did somebody tell you that grants were gone? Or are you thinking that DI totally eliminated funding like diversity, equity, and inclusion? Did you think that all that money was gone? Did you think only large organizations could win grants? Be honest, be honest. Give me a yes in the chat if you thought any of these things were true. Did you think grants take too long to write? Did you think Black organizations don't win grants? Did you think international organizations can't win grants? Right? All of this misinformation is leading you to not getting grant money. Yes, Alvin says he thought it was too complicated. Tawuka says he's tired of trying, right? Lewis says, yes, I believe this information. This is all misinformation, all of it. None of it's true. None of this is true. Grants are not gone. DI funding is available. Small organizations win grants. Grants can take hours to write. Black organizations are winning grants. Most of the organizations that work with me are Black organizations. And guess what? They're winning 5-figure grants and 6-figure grants as we speak right now. International organizations absolutely can win grants, but there's a strategy to it. There's a strategy to it. Here's Melinda. Melinda, at one point, she didn't think she could get any grant money. She has an organization where she wants Black students to become pilots. So she has like a flight simulator that teaches them how to become pilots before they get to flight school. But she took the leap. She said, Linda, I'm going to get your course and learn to do this. Yes, I have courses. Yes, I can help you. And guess what? She got a $5,000 grant. So now she has more money to help more Black students become pilots, right? And this was just less than 2 months ago. Here's the news for all of you. I know you heard that federal grants were gone and that the federal government shut down a lot of federal grants. That's true. They did. The federal government in the US, they shut down a lot of grants. They cut a lot of aid. But guess what? Federal grants don't equal all grants, people. Grants come from a number of different resources, thousands of resources, private foundations, community foundations, family foundations, corporate foundations. And guess what? They're giving grant money to nonprofits and small businesses. So you need to be encouraged. And speaking of nonprofits and small businesses, let me know who is here with me. Let me know in the chat right now. Are you a nonprofit or are you a small business? Because there are grants for both. Let me know in the chat. Are you a nonprofit or are you a small business? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. I see a lot of nonprofits. Oh, I see some small businesses too. Excellent. Excellent. Community-based organizations, both. Excellent. I see some boths. So you have a nonprofit and a small business. Guess what? There are grants for both. Corporations and governments are giving grants to small businesses. Then your private community and family foundations are giving a lot of grants to nonprofits as well as corporations. So guess what? You're covered. And guess what's happening? Because of the federal grant cuts, your corporations and your private foundations are stepping in to cover the gaps left by the federal grant cuts. That is good news. And guess what? Even your government, your state government, your local government, especially in the US, they have grant money. When was the last time you met with your city government to find out whether or not they have grants? A lot of city governments have grants. Guess what? Not all of the state governments and the local government grants come from the federal government. A lot of states and local municipalities, they raise their own funds. So yes, right in Ohio right now, there's a $30 million grant in the state of Ohio. There's a $20 million grant in the state of Michigan. So those of you who are stateside, yes, 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 you should be seeking grants from your state and county and local governments. Now, let me show you why there's still so much money available. There are over 150,000 private foundations, over 17,000 public foundations, over 900 community foundations, over 2,000 corporate foundations. And if you heard recently, even the federal government reinstated $2 billion in funding, right? So the money is available. All of you, look at this. This is just coming from foundations, corporations, and bequest giving. In 2024, over $200 billion in grants were provided. And that money is going to organizations in the US and international organizations. Over $200 billion. And guess what? When the 2025 numbers come out, that number is expected to increase. So you need to position your organization to get your piece of this pie. This is a huge pie, right? This is a lot of money that's being given out. You got some organizations sitting in a corner crying, thinking, oh my gosh, there's no grant money, there's no grant money. And then smart organizations like all of you who showed up to find out what do I need to do, now you can go after it. Now let's talk about DEI. Let's talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion. We know that the federal government shut down a lot of DEI programs. Who does DEI serve? Minorities, women, veterans, the disabled. But guess what happened? In your foundations and your corporations that were giving out this money, they're still giving out this money. The money shifted. So at one point, a lot of it was coming from the federal government. Now it's coming from your corporations and your foundations and your community foundations. This is why the Black organizations that work with me are still winning 5-figure and 6-figure grants. But the money shifted. Think about this. Foundations that give grant money, this is who they serve. They serve minorities, communities of color, women, veterans, the disabled. They couldn't just stop giving out this grant money just because the federal government said they should. But at the same time, they don't want to upset the White House. They don't want to upset the current administration. So what did they do? They reframed their language. And this is exactly what you're going to do. This is how you're still going to get money allocated for DEI. All right. You're going to emphasize, this is for all of you, the outcomes and the need, right? So instead of using terms like ethnicity, like Black, you're going to talk about what is the outcome? What is the need? So let's say you have a program where you offer youth development opportunities for Black boys or for African boys or for people of the African diaspora or for African American boys or people of African descent. This is what you're going to say now. You're going to take out the ethnicity and put in the condition or the outcome. So now you're going to be able to say, we provide youth development for historically underserved and underrepresented boys. Do you see what I did? I took out Black or any mention of race and I put in the condition. These are buzzwords that you need to be looking for when you start searching for grants. Underserved, underrepresented, inequities, serving boys disproportionately impacted by economic and educational inequities. Do you see what I'm doing? This is very important for you all to get, because when you start creating your grant application, there may be times when you need to tweak the language a bit and use some of these buzzwords or seek grant applications or RFPs, right? Requests for proposals that use this terminology. Underserved, underrepresented, inequities. Give me a yes if you get this. This is very important. This is very important. This is how you're going to get this grant money, right? That was originally earmarked for DEI. You're going to flip the switch. You're just going to change that terminology a bit. This is for you. I don't care where you are in the world. Instead of using African or Black, just talk about the condition. Talk about the condition. And that's how you're going to get that application through and not have it pulled because you're using racial terms. All right. I see some yeses, so this is very important. Now let's get back to grant basics. What do you all need to remember? Grants are not paid back. Now, if you have, this is especially true in the US. If you have your nonprofit, you need your 501c3. That's your tax exempt charitable organization designation by the IRS. If you don't have yours, get yours. It takes about 8 weeks now to get your 501c3 here in the US. Now, let me say something to all you small businesses because this is where many of you have trouble when you are applying for grants. You need to remember you must describe your organization just like a nonprofit would. Just because you're a small business doesn't mean that you can't talk about your mission. You've got to have a mission statement, even as a small business. You have to talk about who do you serve? What has been your impact? Why do you serve them? What is unique or different about your organization? You still have to answer these questions, small businesses, because grants are competitive. What is making you different? I just met with two small businesses in the last week. I do grant coaching and I do intensives when it comes to grants and grant funding. And just so happened they were both black hair care salons. They were both hair care salons. And I needed to ask them, what are you doing different than any other black hair salon? What are you doing different than any other salon that braids hair or that styles hair? There are probably, I know there are thousands and thousands of salons in the United States and in Africa and that do black hair. All right. So I had to ask them, what's making you different? And they both had answers because one, she was able to focus on hair loss. So they did special treatments for women with alopecia or other kinds of hair loss due to lupus or diseases. And the other salon also had an academy. So she not only had a hair salon, she had a hair academy where she focused on advanced treatments, how you do natural hair. And she also made wigs for women suffering from cancer or alopecia. Do you see what I'm talking about? So now they're more than just a hair salon. Give me a yes if you see what I'm talking about. This is how you have to differentiate your organization. What are you doing different? What are you doing that nobody else is doing near you? You can't just say, I got a hair care salon. That's not going to get you any grant money. But if you can say, okay, in addition to doing hair, look, I treat hair loss. I treat women with medical conditions, or I make wigs for women who lost their hair because they had cancer. That is what is going to get you closer to grants, right? What are you doing different? Now, here's the real problem about this current grant landscape. This is why many of you are not winning grants because organizations aren't losing grants because of the writing. You're applying without having any type of strategy. Any type of strategy. You see a grant and you go after it. If you are a restaurant, let's say you're a bakery, you make cakes, you make cupcakes for a living, right? Why are you applying to a foundation that's only giving grant money to people who build motorcycles? Why are you doing it? Is it because you saw, oh my gosh, $100,000 grant? Let me go after that grant. You can't do that. It has to be about strategy. And you got to be grant ready. What does that mean? Get your legal and financial documents together. You need an EIN, right? Employer identification number. You need your 501c3 nonprofits. Are you a legitimate organization? Do you have any type of certificates of incorporation or articles of incorporation? If you are a nonprofit, do you have your list of board members? Do you have your financial statements? This is for all of you. If you are operating, you need a financial statement with your balance sheet and your profit and loss statement. Do you have an annual budget? And for all of you, you're seeking grant money. Do you know what you would do with it if you got it? Do you already have set what you would do with a $10,000 grant or what you would do with a $50,000 grant? You need to already have it mapped out, right? Because you're going to need to answer that question possibly on that grant application, right? The financial statements are important. So the financial statements, if you are currently operating, is when you'll need your balance sheet and your profit and loss. But all of you, even if you haven't started yet, you need that annual budget and that grant budget. The grant budget is how much money do you need and where are you going to use the money? Because everybody doesn't need $1 million, right? We might want it, but realistically, how much money do you need for your organization? And let me tell you how organizations are winning grants. They are telling a story. They're telling a story. This is why you must have a well-developed grant template. Your grant template tells your story. Your story is what is going to get you grant money. In your story, have a mission, have a vision, tell your history, be vulnerable, right? One of the salon owners that I met with, she started because she saw too many Black women losing their hair because of bad products, right? Didn't know how to work with their natural hair. And she said, I want to do something about this. It's okay to be vulnerable when you tell the history. Why did you start? Something was happening that made you start your organization. Do you know what services or products that you have? Who is your target population? Who are you helping? You can't help everybody. People, that's how you get burnt out. This is part of what I teach in my coaching. You can't help everybody. Who would best be served by your organization? Let's say even if you open up a restaurant, you still can't help everybody. What kind of restaurant is it? Is it for soul food, right? Is it African food? Is it Italian food? Is it Asian food? Who are you serving with that restaurant predominantly? And then a need statement. What is the problem? All of you must have a need statement because there's something you're trying to solve. Maybe there was no other soul food restaurant in that city within a 2 mile radius and you decided to open up one. Or maybe you got tired of seeing homeless veterans sleeping outside and you decided to open up a program that would help homeless veterans transition into housing. And then your impact. How are you helping people? What is the transformation? Community partnerships, that's another one. That's important. All of this goes in this grant template. That is going to be the difference as whether or not you're in the best possible position to get that grant money. And then I talked before about the grant budget. How much money do you need and do you know what you would do with it if you got it? Right? Two reasons. Two reasons grants fail. Mission misalignment. Again, you have a bakery. Why are you applying for grants only from foundations that give money to people that create motorcycles? 87% of grants are rejected due to funder mismatch. You never applied to the right organization. Organization applied to funders who were never designed to fund them. Never. This is why you got to have strategy. You have to know how to find the right organizations. And then time scarcity. Even really great organizations lose funding because they don't have time to think strategically before they apply. They wait until the last minute, the deadline is near, and they just throw that application together, right? And resources like AI can give you your time back because remember what I said at the beginning? You no longer have to spend months writing grants. It's days, sometimes hours, and AI can help with that. All right. I'm going to talk about two of those items in depth right now. The mission, your mission is everything, people. All of you must have a mission. It's more than just what you do or your aims or your goals because you need to align your mission to where the organization is providing funding. So if you are building affordable housing, make sure that the foundation that you seek money from is giving in the area of housing. This is why that funding match is so important. But in order to do that, you need a mission, all of you. So if you don't have a mission, people, that's like homework 101 for you. And then this is how organizations are funding. This is how they're giving grant money. It's all about your impact. What impact are you having in your organization? So if you want to build irrigation ditches in Zimbabwe, right? What's happening that people now have access to clean water? Does it mean that the children have better health, right? There's less disease. What does that mean? What is the transformation that your program is giving? Let's say in the US, you have an after school program. Now, it's great to be able to say, look, I have 150 students that come to my after school program. That's wonderful, but what's happening with the students? Can you also say, look, 80% performed reading and math proficiency at reading and math proficiency levels? They were able to improve those test scores because they went to my after school program. And guess what? 60% gained confidence, so they were able to graduate from school on time, meaning they were able to go to college or go to a trade school or enter the armed services. Transformation. You have to be able to talk about this. Now, let's say you haven't opened, people. Let's say you have a startup. You still talk about what you hope your transformation will be, because now you can say, I want to build a school. Once I build my school, I want to have a 90% graduation rate. I want 70% of those students who leave my school to go on to have a career. And use your testimonials. If you're already serving people, have them pick up their cell phone and give you a 30-second testimonial. Use those testimonials in your grant applications. That becomes very, very, very important. All right. I see some great questions. Keep asking your questions. Here's Hezbollah. Hezbollah has a program where she helps Black women who've been victims of domestic violence. She's one of my students. She just received a couple of months ago, a $10,000 grant from the Emmy Lou Tompkins Foundation. She would never have known about that foundation if she had not worked with me and she took my programming and knew how to search for grants and found this grant, gave her $10,000. Now she says she can help the very next client who needs legal support for her survivors program. So now she can help women who need legal support who are victims of domestic abuse. And she says, all praises to the Most High. Linda Peavy's course really works, y'all. These are just some of the people that work with me. And before, they had no strategy. They were just writing, just applying, not winning, rejection, rejection after rejection after rejection. You got to have a strategy, have a research strategy, know where to find grants for Black-led organizations, nonprofits, and small businesses. Know how to find grants that target your industry and know where to find international grants, right? For my international friends that are with me today, here's what you're going to do. People here in the US, start locally. It is easier to get local grants. Look for foundations in your city. Many of you, if you would just Google local community foundations near me, they're going to pop up. You need to be meeting with them. If some of you just do that, you're going to be way closer to getting a grant than you were when you started this webinar. Google local community foundations, but also search nationally. Don't just keep it within your city or your county or your state, because there are more grants available nationwide. And yes, seek funds across categories. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a moment. You're here internationally, use grant portals. I'm going to show you how to do that. Also look for local funders in your local area. There are grant information that come out from U.S. embassies. Yes. And then, of course, there are foundations that also give grant funding. Now, I talked about portals. All of these portals provide information, most of them about grants. The Foundation Directory Online is the leading source of funders. The leading source of funders. They give you the names of organizations that provide funds all across the U.S. and internationally. It's $50 a month to subscribe, or I know in the US, you can go to your local library, and they will give you free access to the foundation directory online. It's also called Candid. The federal government, I know a lot of those grants were shut down, but guess what? There are still federal grants available that provide funding here in the US and internationally. If you are a religious organization, especially here in the US, the Lilly Foundation is the largest funder of religious organizations. So what am I talking about? Churches. Yes, as a church, you can get a grant, people. Do you know that the Walmart Good Spark grant provides money to churches? Grant Watch. Now, these are portals where you go search for grants. Grant Watch. They give you a grant list here in the US and internationally. Grant Station will give you a list of grants available here in the US and internationally, including Africa. UrbanAwarenessUSA.org, they're just here in the US. They're a Black organization where you can get some free training. Grants for creators. If you are a poet, a writer, a musician, an artist, you can search this portal. Grants for creators is $97. You can search for the whole year. Grant Watch is $20 a week. Grant Station is $200 for the whole year. You get to search all year for $200. Grant Watch also has a special that's $200 for the whole year. The Grant Portal is $200. You get to search for the whole year. Choose one of these. The Grant Portal is the largest grant catalog. And yes, they have grants here in the US and grants in Africa and nationwide. Instrumental is super expensive. They're $200 a month, but you don't need to spend that kind of money to find grants. But if you have the money, a lot of larger organizations use Instrumental. Now, let me just talk briefly. If you are here internationally, I'm just going to use as an example Nigeria as an example. Remember, I said use databases. Grant Station has listings of grants in Nigeria. Instrumental does. Here's another organization called Funds for NGOs. Just tag Nigeria, and it's going to give you information about grants in Nigeria. Again, use your local sources. This Development Research and Project Center, they have a list of grants geared for Nigeria, but also all throughout Africa, right? Continent-wide grants. There's a source for you. But for international organizations and organizations here in the US, this is for you. Subject-based. Oftentimes when you are searching for grants, it's about your subject area. So for example, if it's community development, US Embassy, Nigeria, find out whether or not they have grants. That's usually about clean water, healthcare or clinics and schools. That's all considered community development. Maybe your program is in education in Nigeria. The World Bank, right? They oftentimes list grant programs. And we know that the federal government cut so much funding to US aid, but there's still some funding available. Maybe your area is climate change, right? There's a couple of grants, information sources listed here. UNDA, UK Pact, and then AFDB. And then foundations, right? There are foundations here in the US that give here in the US and also give internationally. Two of the major ones is the Ford Foundation and the Gates Foundation. They are renowned for giving money to programs in Africa. All right. So whether or not you're here in the US or in Africa, money is available. You've got to know how to get it. Now, for my US companies, I mentioned the Black Hair Care Salon. I just want to show you why there are still grants targeted to Black communities, regardless of what you're hearing in the news. The Beyonce grant, right? That is a grant for hair care salons. And I know their preference is Black hair care salons. There's another grant that's coming up called Shea Moisture, right? They make the shampoo and the conditioner. They're all about giving money to Black hair care salons. There's the U.S. Black Chamber of Commerce. They have a list of grants. If you are a startup, busy, that grant is for startups. Let's talk about nonprofits. The Lilly Foundation has a Black church grant every year. The only Black church grant that I'm aware of. Literally, you have to be a Black church to get that grant. So again, for all of you thinking, oh my gosh, there's no grants for Black organizations, that's just not true. Amarillo, they're in Texas. I have some people here from Texas. They focus on small, really tiny, small organizations because some of you might be thinking, oh, Linda, this is not for me. I'm too small. No, all volunteer nonprofits get grants, and then your local community foundations. And here's a tip for you. Here's a strategy. Did you know that banks are some of the largest providers of grant money? I'm going to give you what 5 tips right now. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, TD Banks, Truist, and Citizens. They're all headquartered in the US. And yes, all of them provide grant money. If you are a woman-owned business, Amber Grants for Women, right? That's for small businesses. Has to be 51% or more owned by a woman. So do you see that the money is available? You have to know how to get it. Now, I said before, apply across multiple subject areas. This is what I mean. Let's say you have a homeless program for veterans, all right? You can check off multiple boxes. That means if your homeless program also provides some type of maybe training for the veterans, once they get into a homeless shelter, now you can apply for a workforce development and job training grant. If you're providing any type of educational programming for these homeless veterans, now you can apply for an educational grant. We know that many veterans suffer from PTSD, right? Now you can apply to a health and wellness and mental health program if you have any type of counseling for those veterans. Because you're trying to place them into transitional or permanent housing, now you can apply for a housing stability or homelessness prevention grant. So that's one program for grants. This is what we literally help you do. This is how we help you find grants in my organization, right? But you got to have the right mindset, because if you're still thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have time for this, I have a question for all of you, and I would like an answer in the chat. I would like an answer in the chat. For those of you thinking like, I don't have time for this. Do you have time to get free money? That's the question, right? Do you have time to get this free money? Do you have time to get this free money? I'm seeing some yeses. I hope so. Shawuka says, I have all the time in the world, right? Elvis says, yes, I have time, right? Alvin says, look, my success depends on it. This money is available, right? But let me give you another secret. I'm dropping these secrets to you. I've been in this business 18 years. I've trained over 30,000 organizations and individuals. The number one funding move that almost nobody makes, the number one funding move almost nobody makes that puts you in a much better position to actually win grants is meeting with the foundation. Most organizations don't do it. They don't do it. You've got to develop relationships, people, with these organizations. They want to develop a relationship with you. People, this is not a money grab. Here's another client, Kimberly. Remember I said it doesn't take a 100-page application? Because she works with me, she knew what to do. This was a 4-page application. She said, Linda, it was one of the easiest and shortest applications I've ever written. 4 pages, $84,000. 4 pages. My company won an $84,000 grant to run our program at two local high schools. $84,000, 4 pages. It doesn't take months, right? It doesn't. Let's talk a little bit about AI. You've heard about it, people. It's here. It's not out there coming. It's here. But if you're going to use it to write grants, use it the right way. Use it ethically. It's not going to replace you being able to write about your organization. You've got to be able to write about your organization. And then you can feed that writing into AI and have it perfect what you've written. This is a tool. This is never going to be a replacement, right? But it can help you write faster and better. It can help you research faster and better. You can cut 80% off your research time, because instead of you sitting there with 10 tabs open, people, let's be real. How many of you have more than 10 tabs open right now? You got more than 10 tabs open right now. Yes, I see some yeses. It can cut your research time. Let me show you a live example. Instead of researching for months, right? You can have answers in days, you can have answers in minutes. So let's do an example here. This is Chicago Children's Program. It's a nonprofit. It provides free after-school tutoring in reading and math for underserved Chicago students in grades 3 through 5. Each year, the program supports more than 80,000 children from low-income households and under-resourced schools. Now, they have some stats. 71% of the students that finish the program literally increase by one proficiency level their reading. 76% of third graders meet or exceed Illinois' reading benchmark, right? The mission is to close early learning gaps and strengthen literacy and math foundations so children are prepared for long-term academic success. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to share my screen again and open up my AI. Let me make sure I have my AI open because I'm going to demonstrate to you right now how this works. All right, there we go. I'm going to share. There we go. All I did was place this same paragraph, and I have ChatGPT 5.2. I have the paid version. People, if you can afford to get the paid version, if not, use the free version. It's great too. The paid version is $20 a month. So I input that paragraph that I just read to you, and my simple prompt, the prompt is the instruction that you give to AI. I said, provide stats and data that show there is a need for the Chicago Children's Program. I need to write a need statement for a grant. That was it. So in other words, I want ChatGPT to tell me and to give me some stats to show that children in Chicago have a need for additional after school tutoring. All right. Really simple, right? This is live. I'm pushing the button here. I'm asking for stats and data. It's searching the web. It's searching the web for information that is going to give me. Oh my gosh, how long did that take? Was it 1 or 2 seconds? Look at this. There's a community need. It's giving me the literacy gaps in Chicago. 30.5% of Chicago public school students in grades 3 through 8 read at grade level. That's only 30%. That means 70% don't. Just 18% are proficient in math. It's giving me the information that I'm going to put in the grant application to prove to that foundation, look, my program is needed. What else did it do? The crisis is worse for low income and marginalized children. It's breaking it down amongst the third graders. That took 2 seconds, people. Look, it's giving me local data and national data. Students are far below the national expectations. It's giving you the national stats saying that the Chicago children are in need of additional resources. Learning loss and long-term consequences. What are the long-term consequences of these students being below grade level proficiency? And look, it even wrote the needs statement for me. All I have to do now is copy and paste it into the grant application. I want you to tell me how long it would have taken you to come up with all of this data about long-term consequences, about the national stats, right, for Chicago and across the country, the stats for low-income third graders, the stats in the Chicago public schools. I want you to tell me right now in the chat, how long would it have taken you to come up with this information? Let me know in the chat how long. If you didn't have ChatGPT and you were just trying to, you're at your computer, you're just trying to research, how long would it have taken you? I'm going to start sharing my screen again. How long would it have taken you? Oh, I'm seeing a couple of days, 2 weeks, 5 days, a month, another month, 3 days, but not 2 seconds, right? Not 2 seconds. All right. So, what are some hot categories for grants? Workforce development. Are you providing any type of job training? Education and youth development, always in STEM. STEM is always a hot topic. Health, wellness, and mental health. Tech and AI. Housing stability and homelessness prevention, right? Even as a small business or an entrepreneur, A lot of the money is coming from state and corporation funding. And especially here in the US, almost unique to the US, gun violence, community safety, any type of community safety and development programs. But you got to think strategically when you try to find these funders. Because ask yourself, what happens if you don't do anything? What happens? What is the cost of you not shifting and realizing you got to do strategy? You're going to have a lot more misaligned applications. And what's going to happen? You're going to look like this young lady here. More rejection. Some of you have gotten rejection letters. You're going to waste your time, waste your credibility, frustration, and then what happens? You give up. People, you can't give up. You cannot give up because your program is needed, whether it's in Chicago or Nairobi, your program is needed. Like your program is needed. So you can't give up. You got to keep going. So before you write another grant, I'm going to move this out of the way so that you can see what is happening. Before you write another grant or apply for another grant, get a strategy. Most organizations lose grants because not because they can't write, because they don't have a strategy. They're chasing the wrong opportunities. They aren't even grant ready. They're not fundable. They're throwing spaghetti on the side of a wall and trying to see what sticks. And it's just falling down. They're just trying to keep it up. They're just throwing spaghetti, trying to see what sticks. You can't do it that way. You have to have a strategy, right? You need a better strategy and better support. That's why I offer two different ways to work with me now. This is new because I realize that some of you need it done for you. So we're going to prepare a grant template, a custom grant template for you. This whole package is worth over $15,000 because you don't have to write. We're going to write this grant template for you. We're going to prepare these documents for you. We're going to, along with you, we're going to write a phenomenal mission and vision, organizational history. We're going to talk about your target population. You're going to get a statement of need. We're going to have a description for you. We're going to talk about goals and outcomes, your evaluation plan, what partnerships you have. We're going to help you create that budget and sustainability. We're going to have your impact statement. We are writing this for you. It's all done for you. All done for you. We actually also give you a two-page executive summary. That's your anchor document so that when you are meeting with foundations and funders and you email them your executive summary. That way they get a view of your organization. They give it like an overview so that they know a little bit about you before they even meet with you. And you get a private strategy call with me, directly with me. We're going to clarify your funding angle and what funders want from you. And here are two bonuses. If you buy this package today, two bonuses. This is brand new. We're just doing this. We are going to cultivate for you a list of 10 grants, 10 grants for your organization. So not only are you going to get the grant template that will allow you to be ready to apply, you're going to get 10 grants. That alone is worth $500. That's normally $500. And guess what? I have two courses. One is a course that teaches you how to write from soup to nuts, how to meet with the foundations. But I also have a brand new course that teaches you how to use AI to write these grants so that not only do you have the template, you have the list of grants so you can start applying, but for future purposes, you have the AI course, right? So this package is $15,485. Grant template, executive summary, a private call with me, right? The bonus, you're getting my AI course. You're getting a list of grants, right? It's $997. $997. This is going to eliminate so many headaches for so many of you because we're doing the writing. We're doing the writing. If you want to make two payments, it's two payments of $597 or $997. That's it for all of this. So your strategy is finally done because you're meeting with me to make sure you have a strategy. And we're actually creating the grant template for you, and we're giving you a list of grants. $997. The link is in the chat. The link is in the chat. Now, look at Keisha. Keisha, before she met with me, had never written a grant before. This is what happens when organizations stop guessing and stop trying to do things on their own, because that gets you frustrated in a bunch of rejection letters. She had never written a grant before. She met with me. This was a private session. She met with me, took one of my programs. 8 weeks later, 8 weeks later, she won $100,000. $100,000. 8 weeks later, right? So this is real. This is real. But let's say maybe you have a team who can write grants. Maybe you want to do this yourself. We have courses. This is what I call my OG course. This was my original course. Students have literally won millions of dollars taking this course. After I won $18 million, I designed this course because I wanted to teach people how to research and write grants from soup to nuts. When you're done with this course and you're done answering my questions, you will have your grant template. But you have to do this yourself. You have to work through the course yourself. I call it my OG course. It includes everything. How do you write every part of a grant application? We have a private Facebook group. You're going to be admitted to the private Facebook group where you can ask questions. I do live coaching calls once a month, live with me. You can hop on one of those group coaching calls and ask me questions directly. You'll get that if you buy any of these products, even the courses. It's tax deductible. You can write it off. You get a certificate when you're done. It alone is a $5,000 value. I've had it audited 3 times now. It's a $5,000 value. For the next 3 days, and 3 days only, is $297. $297. That's it. For the next 3 days only, though. Then it'll go back up. 3 days, $297. Or you can make 2 payments of $175 if you want. So you're saving $200 if you get it. All right. Now, let's look at Nicola. Nicola was not successful at getting grants. She came into our program. She knew how to write an application because we taught her. She applied for $50,000 a year for 2 years, right? $50,000 a year for 2 years. This is the first time I've ever seen this happen in my 18 years of being in this industry. Her application was so phenomenal. The foundation countered and said, would you accept $250,000? We will give you $250,000 over 6 months because we want you to take this program and expand it throughout our organization. So Nicola ended up winning $250,000. $250,000. Now, for those of you that are ready for AI, it's here. I have the AI course. Remember, if you buy the grant template, you get this course free. This course is 8 modules, 30 lessons. It will teach you how to write, how to do the research faster. You get 150 prompts. I have a custom GPT that I created. That's your little AI buddy. You can ask it anything. It's going to help you research. It's going to help you write. So this is a course that teaches you how to use AI to write grants. It is one of the only full courses available anywhere that will teach you how to use AI to specifically write and win grants. It's normally $497. For the next 3 days, it'll be $247. That link is in the chat. All right. So the link to the OG course that teaches you, because you gotta be able to write about your organization. You have to be able to write your mission, your need statement. Who do you serve? That original course will teach you how to write everything. But if you're ready to use AI, what you learn how to write in the original course, this course will teach you how to use what you wrote in that course to plug it into AI and get you even more information. All right. Now, we accept buy now, pay later, Affirm, Afterpay, and Klarna. And I can show you how to get to those when we're done. But typically it's 4 payments. It will give you 4 payments, same as cash. So 4 payments, same as cash, Affirm, Afterpay, or Klarna. All right. So these are the offers. They're done for you. We're doing it for you. We're giving you a grant template. You're getting the AI course, and we're giving you 10 grants that you can apply for right now, all for $997 or 2 payments of $597. If you want to do it yourself, you want to go through this course, you want to learn how to do this writing, that's my I call it my OG course, Granted Writing for Non-Writers, 297. You want to take what you've learned how to write and put it in AI and work with AI, the AI powered grants accelerator is 247. All right. Now, if you want to contact us to write grants for you, we only accept very few people. For us to do strategy and write for you, send me an email. You need the email anyway because you're going to get your replay via an email. So I want to make sure that my email address is in your safe senders list. So please put hello@grantwritingfornonwriters.com into your email contact list because I don't want the replay going to your spam. So ask yourself right now, where do you want to be in 3 months? I'd like to hear from you in the chat. Do you want to be frustrated or funded? Frustrated or funded? Which one? Frustrated or funded? Which one? Which one? Frustrated or funded? Frustrated or funded? Which one? Which one? Frustrated or funded? You decide. Oh, I see funded. Excellent. Excellent. All right. All right. So again, if you want to speak with me about the grant prep kit that's $997, you can set up a discovery call. If you want more information about that grant prep kit and how it will help you, send us an email at hello@grantwritingfornonwriters.com and we will set up a call for you to talk to me privately about how that grant prep kit can help you, the one that's $997. So please set up a call if you want to talk to me about how that will help your organization. I would be happy to talk to you. All right. Also, before you leave, I want to invite you to another training that I'm having is totally free. I'm going to be teaching specifically how to use AI. We're going to do a deep dive into how to use AI to write grants. We're going to do a deep dive, totally free training. We're putting the link in the chat for you to register, totally free. And it is March 12th, March 12th at noon, March 12th at noon. All right, all right, all right. It's Q&A time. Let me stop sharing. It's Q&A time. It's Q&A time. All right. Q&A time. I'm going to go up to the webinar chat. But first I'm going to go to the Q&A box. What are the top 5 things to take note of when writing a budget to be sent to the funder? I won't go through 5. I'll go through a couple. Make sure that what you're asking for in the budget is in alignment with where they give money, right? So if it's a technology grant, make sure that you include technology in your budget. That alignment is important, all right? Also, if your entire budget is $100,000, don't ask for a $100,000 grant. You're not going to get it. You want to ask for a percentage of your budget. So keep that in mind. If your entire budget is $100,000, don't ask for a $100,000 grant. Ask for a portion of that grant. All right. I'm from Monrovia, Liberia. I have a small business. Am I eligible? Yes. So I talked about how you can search for grants on one of the slides. So when you get the replay, go back to that slide. My organization was established last year, although it includes a number of experts. Can it benefit from these subsidies? Oh, absolutely. So you may have experts. Are you getting in money? Are you getting free money to help move your organization forward? Expertise is great, but is it providing you money? That's the question. For nonprofit organizations located in other countries, it's easy to obtain grants, unlike a Cameroonian organization. There's a method that you have to follow to search for grants. Thank you for the teaching. Can we have a chance to bring guided as African-based organizations to win grants in favor of IDPs, victims of? I'm not sure your question, but again, I want you to go back to that slide where I talked about different areas, different industries. So it looks like one of yours is women's education. One of those areas was women's education. So definitely you can search for grants if you are providing education for women, victims of GBVs. I happen to know what that is. So there is one I did mention. You're making me think of something. There is what is it called? I want you to Google, for those of you that serve women internationally, if you're in an international location, you serve women. I want you to Google Women's Fund. It's out of New York. They typically provide information on international grants. Just Google Women's Fund. It's located in New York. If I have a chance before we get off, I will put that into the I'm going to put that into the chat now. Let me see really quickly if I can't bring that up because this is an important Women's Fund, New York. Let's see if this is it here. This is this is not what I'm looking for. It's a Women's Fund Foundation. I'm trying to bring up the right name of it so I can give you the well, just Google Women's Fund. I don't see the exact one that I am looking for, but if you Google Women's Fund, it's out of New York, it will probably come up. They provide quite a bit of funding. Here's another one, which is a Global Fund for Women. There's another one. I'm going to drop that in the chat too. All right, other questions. My small business is into the provisions of safe, clean, and purified drinking water to low-income communities, combating waterborne diseases in these areas. That sounds great. You should definitely be seeking grant funding. We are very interested in the program, but unfortunately, we don't have the funds to join. Are there other alternatives? You can use this replay and move forward. I have resources for literally as little as $5. So I'm going to put in here, this is a little $5 resource. Some of you might have seen it when you registered, called the $1 Million Grant Roadmap. It is a guide that will tell you what you need to be doing along your grant journey. It's like $5. So let me just grab, here it is. I'm going to grab the link to it and put the link in the chat. It will help. I've sold probably, I don't know, 15 and 20,000 of these. It will help. All right, let's see. And the CEO of Sunshine Records here in Nigeria is a music production studio. Can I get grants abroad like the US? Yes. Yes. I gave you a portal. It's called Grants for Creators. Grants for Creators. Go back and look through the replay. And that particular portal lists grants that would include people in the music industry. All right. Things aren't rosy in the US either. Things are not rosy in the US either. Let's see. I have an idea. Why not just get grants for an African organization to get all the information and build their capacities? If that's your idea, you can. So, as an organization, you can have an organization in Africa where maybe what you're doing is providing services to other organizations in Africa that will help teach them how to, better secure funding if that's your organization, if that's what you want to do, right? That's possible. All right, let me see if I have any other questions. So the links are in the chat to buy the program, to buy the any one of the courses. The one you got 3 days to get the original course that will teach you how to write. You get access to the Facebook group. The Facebook group is everything because in the Facebook group, you get to ask questions like 24/7. You get to work with other organizations that are seeking grants, and you get access to my live coaching once a month. So that's with either course. The AI course is 247. The original course that really teaches you how to write, for those of you who need to learn how to write, that course is $200 off. It's only 297. All right, let me go back up to the top and come down and see if I have any questions, and then we'll wrap it up. Let me just make sure. I want to make sure I've answered all of the questions. Just submitted a grant for our local grocery store for $2,000. Going to work on some today and tomorrow. Excellent, Lord. If you need help, we're here to help you. Um, Something else we do in the Facebook group, before you submit a grant, if you want to maybe drop that grant in the Facebook group and ask for somebody, just take a look at it on a volunteer basis. There typically people will be willing to just skim it, just so you know you've done a good job. That's what the Facebook group is for. It's for support. We want to be able to support you. How can we get minority and women-led certified nonprofit, or how can you, so you want to become a minority or women-led, go through your state, go through your Department of Development within your state, and they handle that. How can you set your prices? Say someone wants you to write them grants. Do you Google the price? No, no, no. If you are wanting to become a professional grant writer or a grant writer, I get that often because I have grant writers who take the course. And because I've been a grant writer for 18 years, I often provide just feedback information on what should you be doing? How should you be setting your prices as a grant writer? So I often get those questions in the Facebook group of people who join the program. I can give you some advice about that for sure. But there are things you need to be considering, and it's not about Googling the price in the city or state. All right. I'm a pastor. I want to start a preschool. Is it possible to have grants? Yes. All right. Bob is in Lorain County. Let's see other questions. I'm just going through to make sure I've answered all of the questions. Oh, yes, I understand. Like a lot of new organizations didn't think that they could get grants, but they can. They're called startup grants. They're called startup grants. All right. So, yes, again, you're eligible for international grants. I need your help to get a grant. So, look at the replay. And then if you want to work with me directly, you have three different ways. Either buy one of the courses or get the grant prep kit. But even if you buy a course, you get access to the Facebook group and the coaching. All right, let's see, let's see, let's see. Should I have a separate organization for my fundraising and grants since it's something that I do, a separate organization? I don't know what your first organization is, though. I'm not sure what your first organization is. Lauren, I would need to know what your first organization is. You have legal documents. Yes, get your financial statements, Philip. I did all this in my last three applications, but never succeeded. What might be the problem? I'd have to look at your applications. So, for those of you who are getting rejections, you're doing something wrong. Something's happening, right? If you're getting multiple, you're just getting rejection after rejection. Something is wrong. Part of what I do, which even if you buy one of the courses, you have the opportunity to meet with me privately. Let me show you that really quickly. So let's say I want to share my screen after I do this. Let's say you buy, here, let me share my screen. Let's say you buy the grant writing course, right? It's $297. You purchase it, click the link. Right here, you can meet with me privately for half price. It's normally $500, $497. You can meet with me for $247 for the hour. We do a strategy session. You and me will do a strategy session where we will go through your organization, your strategy, your mission and vision. You're meeting with me. I'm giving you advice. I'm giving you tips. You can, so that you're on the right track when you buy the course. So you can buy the course and then buy the private one-on-one with me, the strategy session, so that you get off to a good start. So that's going to be available with the AI course or the regular course. All right, I'm going to stop sharing and go back to the questions. Let's see. Does it work if you're not in the USA? So we talked about all of that. It's in the replay. Success, Sisters with Success, Women's Empowerment Nonprofit Organ. No, absolutely not. No, 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 no. You don't need to start any separate organization to do your fundraising. As long as your nonprofit is a 501c3, everybody will get an email with the recording in it. You'll get an email with the replay in it. The New York Women's Foundation is one, definitely. Everybody will get the recording via your email. That's why I want you to put that hello at grantwritersfornonwriters.com into your email safe senders list. Melissa, could you put the email? Oh, thank you. You put it in there to register for the, could you, no, you could you put the email to register for the next Black Grants webinar? I'm having one tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Is it possible to get a grant for a graduate program? So individual grants are rare. There are individual grants typically if you're doing graduate level research. Graduate level research. I've seen individual grants for research that you do at the graduate level, but not to enter graduate school. Please connect with us, funders. Please connect with us, good funders. We are a registered nonprofit with a certificate of incorporation in Swaziland. All right, let's see. All right, I believe that is it. I've gone through, we don't offer sponsorships. We don't offer sponsorships to buy the course because the course is discounted literally like, 70, 80%. All right, let's see. I believe I've answered all of the questions. Let me just make sure. Those listed institutions, do they allow unsolicited applications? The ones that I listed do. The ones that I listed do. Now, if you come across a company that says we do not allow unsolicited applications or we do not allow, oh, invitation only is usually what it says. So some organizations will say invitation only. For me, that's just an invitation for me to get invited. Like literally, I've come across that in my career where it says invitation only, invite only. I typically just focus on getting invited. And there's a way in which you do that. All right, let's see, let's see, let's see. And that's something that I help my clients with. What are the conditions required for an internal applicant to win a grant? What do you mean by internal applicant? We need help to find grants to promote health equity. review, definitely go back and review the replay. There are grants for startups. So Benson, you have a business registered with the government. Meta Art Studio started 2 years ago, 200 photos. This was through Facebook technology and other sources. You need marketing and fund development. It sounds like you have a really great organization. Can we have specific guidance as African-based organizations? I did. So there's a whole week, there's a couple of slides for African-based organizations. I believe that's it. Let me make sure. Yes, there are grants. Absolutely, there are grants and health. The fact that it's in Haiti, it doesn't matter because there are grants for international programs. So you should be looking for grants that will serve populations not in the US. So you can be here in the US and your target population can be in another country or on another continent. You can still seek grants. So yes. All right. So if you could pop in the links one more time, Melissa, so that they would have them. If you want to buy the grant writing course, it's only $297 and you still get support. If you want to buy the AI course, it's only $247. If you want to buy that grant prep kit for $997, that's truly the most bang for the buck. And you want to meet with me to talk about the grant prep kit that's $997, you can set up a meeting with me and we can talk about that. All right. I want to thank all of you for hopping on. I do appreciate your time. I know you could have been somewhere else, so I really appreciate it. I'm on again at 7 o'clock tonight, and hopefully you can share this information so that you can get it as well. You will all get the replay. Just make absolutely sure that you put the email address in your email list so that you are getting information, so that you're getting the replay so that you can review it. That's going to be helpful. And just keep moving forward. Whatever you do, keep moving forward because I don't want you to stop. You are needed. Your organization is needed. What you're doing is so needed. So don't give up. Don't stop. Be encouraged. And hopefully, I will see you all in the Facebook group because, again, once you buy either of the two courses, you're going to be admitted to the Facebook group. You'll get a link in your email to click it, and you'll be admitted to the Facebook group where we can continue to help you. Continue to help you. You got 3 days to get those really, really good prices, right? The two courses and then the grant prep kit so that you can be ready. All right. Again, my name is Linda Peavy. I want to thank you so much. I want you to have a blessed and a safe day and the rest of this week and the rest of this weekend. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. Love, love, love. Love you. Love your support. Love somebody else. All right. Thank you so much. Bye bye.